All right, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Renard Boyce of Banker Renard Boyce, the owner of Temple Mortgage, located in beautiful downtown Norfolk. Of course, I'm bringing you my reverse mortgage series, my seniors only or seniors first series, sponsored by Temple Mortgage. I'm happy once again today to bring to you Mrs. Karina Carter with CMS Consulting. She's going to be working with me hand in hand. I want to get a few things about her credentials before I get too deep into the broadcast, because God just made a great pivotal move in my life by aligning me with this person who is showing me and working with me, and we're working together to make sure the saints have the best possible benefit. So here you have Temple Mortgage in conjunction with CMS Consulting, and she's going to tell you all her wonderful credentials to make sure that every possible safeguard possible is being employed for the benefit of my senior saints. Of course, if you need to reach me, you can reach me at 757-567-6700. Once again, that's 757-567-6700. So, good afternoon to you, Miss Carter.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
How you doing? Are you blessed?
I'm blessed.
Better than blessed?
Better than blessed.
You know, I was on the radio for many years. I used to have this thing, and I used to ask my co-host, are you blessed? She'd say, better than blessed. And I'd say, standing on the promises, and she would say, leaning on the praises. You got that?
I got
so you
that.
standing on the promises?
Leaning on the praises.
There you go. Amen. All right. So we're talking about reverse mortgages today, as we did in our previous segment on Monday. So I want to I talked about how great you are. I told, Bishop Willis when I came down to start the show again, I had this person I was working with, and, why I wanted to come back. And he was like, oh, come on back, son, and we want you back. And Ed Everett, he was saying, yeah, I heard you got a new partner that you're working with. And I was like, yeah, she's beautiful. She's intelligent. I said, she's a woman of God, but above all, she's a woman of God. That's above all. And she's also a professional. She's well educated, has all kinds of certificates. Because I think one of the biggest problems when we've had so many seniors being tricked and being upset and not understanding and getting all kinds of crazy information, as we talked about the last show, there are a lot of people, let's just face it, who have been doing reverse mortgages who didn't have any business doing reverse mortgages.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
There are a lot of, just like we had a lot of brokers that are no longer in existence, because there are a lot of people in Virginia who had a broker's license who should never got one.
Right.
See, I can say this, you can't. As a black man, it took me 4 years to get my license. I'm not crying racism. I'm just saying when I happened to have gotten my license, I was the only brother up there getting one that day, okay? Out of 250 of my other brethren and sisterin. But I was the only brethren of color. Oh, strike that, there was a Hindu brother. So there was one more cat up there that had a little pigmentation in his skin. But anyway, let's talk about your credentials today. Tell me something about you that the public wants to know. I know about you. I want them to know why God brought us together.
Well, I am a national certified mortgage trainer. We have a system called the NMLS now. It's the Nationwide Mortgage Licensing.
Yeah, because you trained me.
Where everybody has to go through 20 hours of pre-education in order to be licensed. So if you're dealing with real estate, insurance, finances, anybody that you deal with money should have a license now. So every mortgage loan originator has to have a license. So
you're the trainer.
I've trained over 1,000 statewide.
Because you trained me.
I did.
I was in your class.
You were.
Yes. I had to take the test twice, but I won't blame you. That's another story. No, she's a great trainer. All right. And what is your expertise? So you train the trainers. You train the mortgage professionals. We all have come through you. The state of Virginia has recognized you, has laid their hands on you, anointed and appointed you. They've said you're the one. And that's a hard distinction to get in Virginia.
That's a hard distinction in Virginia. You're
absolutely
absolutely right.
Because I just told you what it took me to get that license.
Yeah.
And you're a white woman. No, let me stop playing. But anyway, you're my sister. We can say this is WPC. We can have fun up here. But anyway, no.
I'm also a certified real estate school in the state of Virginia as well.
Wow.
Too.
Okay.
So certified real estate school, certified NMLS trainer. I've been doing FHA loans for over 15 years now. I've trained at least 20 companies on how to get their FHA license to be able to do FHA loans. I'm a housing counselor in the state of Virginia. I also have several boards that I am now working on getting seated on as far as in the housing community. So we also do a lot of nonprofit counseling for foreclosures too as well.
Okay. So there you go. And this is one of the main reasons that I joined with Mrs. Carter, because I wanted to make sure I was lining myself up with the best professionals I could possibly find, because we want your reverse mortgage to be a happy, exciting experience. We don't want anybody crying. We came, really, I just came to just kick a lot of people on off out of the air and kick them off this place, that they're sitting on, they're occupying. Because actually, this money needs to, first of all, stay in this community. I'm here at WPC Radios, and I want to be a blessing to my community. You guys know me. I've been off and on this air for over 10 years. I started here. I grew up here. And I wanted to come back, but I wanted to come back with some quality information. Now, in our last segment, you said when we come back, Renard, let's talk about credit, right?
Credit.
Let's talk about credit with the reverse mortgage.
Let's talk credit. There is no credit requirements.
I just can't believe that's mind-blowing.
The only thing that is a credit requirement is going to be any type of government lien. Since it is a government-backed funded program, you would have IRS liens or maybe state liens that would need to be paid, and they can be paid outside or inside the loan itself. But other than that, like I said, you could be in foreclosure, you could be behind on all your bills, but there is no credit requirements whatsoever to get the loan program.
I mean, and that's fantastic, because how many people are denied in everyday loans behind as a result of credit?
There's people being denied at 720 credit scores now. You watch CNN all the time.
And I'm going to jump off on this as a minister and the spiritual component. There's really a war right now in the heavens. And I was over with Dr. Ronnie Joyner yesterday at the Philadelphia Fellowship Church. He's meeting over at the Murray Center, and I was there, and I had a chance to proclaim and open up the service for him, and it was very exciting. And I'm taking a little step off right now. I just want to give a little shout out to Dr. Joyner over at Philadelphia Fellowship. And I'm not telling you if you got a church, to leave your church and go hang out with Dr. Joyner, but this is a wonderful assembly. He's a powerful man of God. He's rebuilding, and I'm taking some of my airtime to help to inspire you that if you don't have a church home, from the sound of my voice, please consider Philadelphia Fellowship Center. And we're meeting at the Murray Center under the anointed Dr. Ronnie D. Joyner. And when I was there yesterday in the lobby before I went on the pulpit, there were several women in the church who asked me about reverse mortgages. And, as a matter of my spiritual upbringing, I typically don't discuss business in the church. But I found yesterday it was the perfect place to discuss business, because there's so many people within the church, within the community, period, who are misinformed.
Absolutely.
And who don't know. And so there are these wolves who come out of the community, who don't love God, don't know nothing about God, but see an opportunity to make money and go into the church. And I guess that's why the Lord had me there with Dr. Joyner yesterday. And I'll be back there every Sunday. So if you want to hear a wonderful man of God, come check Dr. Joyner out. I'm just his humble servant, kind of like John the Baptist, and I'm making way plain for he, the servant of the Lord. But if you want to come, please come check him out. But what I found while I was in the service, all these seniors came up to me, several women came up to me, and I said, where I once thought it was wrong to be in the church and talk about business, I think is the appropriate place, because anything dealing with money where people are being mistreated is what we need to talk about. Yes. I mean, we can go back, I'm not going to take this as a sermonic expression, but we can go right to the Bible when they were cheating in the temple and Jesus cast the money changers out of the temple because they were in church creating frauds and crimes and cheating people out of their money. So we want to take this thing in. When I say to the church, all of you within the sound of my voice are my Christian community. You are my mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers in the gospel. So we want to come into the community and make the knowledge plain. We want to just break up this fallow ground, these stones of ignorance that have caused so many people to be in bondage. So we know you don't have to have credit. That's a huge thing. You can have bankruptcy, you can have foreclosure, not on this house, of course, but you don't have credit. And so we're saying that so many people being denied, you just said, that have 700 scores. That can't get traditional loans.
They can't get traditional loans. And for seniors, some seniors are going into foreclosure not knowing that they could use their equity to bail them out.
Wait a minute, that's a big thing. Say it again. Let's jump on. We need to stay on that for a second.
A lot of seniors are going behind on their house payments and falling into foreclosure not knowing they could use their equity to save them.
But do you know something, Karina? Really, I think once again, you said it's in the 70s and 80s, but I hear a lot of the bad stuff in my community. A lot of people are not using reverse mortgage because they are afraid also. They're losing their homes. Here's a way out, but there's no one that they trust to talk about the program.
Correct.
You know?
With the government-backed funded program, the reverse mortgage, it's called the HECM, the Home Equity Conversion Mortgage.
It's called a HECM?
HECM.
Okay.
HECM, Home Equity Conversion Mortgage. You convert your equity into your payments.
Convert your equity into your payments.
Correct.
Because we're talking to seniors now. You're going kind of fast. You're not from New York, are you?
No,
Aren't you a Chesapeake girl?
Yes.
Okay, she's trying to get all big city with me and y'all. But okay, so they convert their what into their what?
They convert their equity into their payments.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it's called a reverse mortgage.
Oh, okay. Okay, makes sense.
But needless to say, what they end up doing is they go into foreclosure, they get some bad advice, or they're not really sure when they could have saved their home.
Huge.
Or they get to the point where they have got that far and they should have consulted someone. With the reverse mortgage program, you absolutely, before you do the reverse mortgage, any type of application, you go to a third party who is not affiliated with myself, who's not affiliated with you, who's not affiliated with the government. They are a non-profit organization, and you do about an hour and 45 minutes of counseling. They explain the program to you, they explain your needs, they explain payments, they explain fees, and they go over the whole entire program just as we would one-on-one with the senior.
Well,
and they have no affiliation with anyone.
So what Mrs. Carter is saying, Miss Carter, is that first you're going to go through a training class. Information class, rather, not training, but information class.
We call it their counseling.
Counseling, that's right, yes. Counseling class. They're going to counsel you. But I can hear the seniors out there right now saying, I don't understand that stuff. I ain't got nobody to help me, and that's why I'm losing my house, because I don't trust nobody. And that's why, once again, I'm going to reiterate the point that I believe that God brought you and I together so that we can work together and help these seniors, because what I may not explain fully, you can explain fully. That's why I let you list all of those credentials, your counseling, your training, your certification from Virginia and HUD and the boards and all that good stuff that you do, and sitting on actually a housing counselor, so that we have the time in the office, or if need be, you don't like coming to people's houses, but if need be, if we have to come to your home.
Oh, yes. We go to mostly 90% of our reverse mortgages are done in home.
Well,
so we will come to your home.
So for those of you, if you find that you need us to come to your home, then we will do so. And of course, if your sons or daughters can also bring you down to the office, and we can do the loan there as well. But I just want you to understand, I believe this is why God brought me in conjunction with Ms. Carter, because we want to have the type of information available, because understanding is key. And even though we're going to go to we're going to a break in a second and give you the number 567-6700. You need to reach me 757-567-6700, 757-567-6700. I want to come back, and we've got 2 minutes left, but I just want to, God, people are losing their homes, and there's a program. That's big.
Yes, that is.
That's
big.
major.
That's
so,
big.
and you know what? We have seniors who, really, in my heart, that's one of my passions, young people and old people. I love children and old people, seniors. It's the ones in between I can't stand. No, I'm just joking. But
it's one of my passions, too. If my parents were able or positioned themselves into a reverse mortgage, they wouldn't be living with me right now. So we have a lot of... You
didn't have to eat that all fast. I'll tell them, make sure they listen to the broadcast. You said if they had to use a reverse mortgage, you're saved by your testimony, and a lot of people need to hear this. So your parents are living with you. Why are they living with you?
One, because they didn't properly plan for their retirement.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 is equity in the home was not an option at that time. So the other option was, if they wanted to retire and live a longer, fulfilling lifestyle, it would be with me.
Wow. But you know what? I bless the Lord that you're there, and we're supposed to be there for our parents because they were there for us. But see, we're saved by testimony, because how many seniors right now are approaching that 62-year-old stage that have not properly planned? And it's not that you haven't necessarily properly planned. What do you have left to plan with? Stocks down, retirement funds gone. People lost thousands of millions of dollars in their pension funds. People at the shipyard had 100,000, 300,000 saved. That got cut. They had 100, they had 50, they had 300, then they looked up, they only had 80. So, and their equity was the last thing that you have. And so for most of us, seniors especially, for all of us, your home is still the greatest investment that you have.
Yes, it is.
And so what we want to do is to teach you to use that equity properly, so that you don't have to go live with your children, because you didn't like them when they were living with you. So you don't want to have to go live with them, because you don't want anybody telling you what to do at 62 years old. Really, let's keep it real.
No,
because that's right. Because that's what happens to a lot of seniors, and we don't want you to lose your equity and have to go and live in a retirement community either.
No, you want to live a comfortable lifestyle, and the reverse mortgage can afford that for you.
A reverse mortgage can afford that to you. Well, my time is up, but I will see you again on Friday. Tune in to Banker Renard S. Boyce. I am Renard S. Boyce, the mortgage doctor. Call me, 567-6700. God bless you all.